Welcome to the South Russell Village Council meeting on Monday, October 27th, 2025. Please rise, put your hand over your hearts, and join us in our Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please be seated. Fiscal officer will take the roll.
Berger.
Here.
Canton.
Here.
Kavanaugh.
Here.
Galicki.
Here.
Porter.
Here.
Bella's absent.
Okay, we have minutes from the October 13th regular council meeting. Any changes or corrections in the minutes?
Move to approve.
Moved by Porter, seconded by Canton. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Minutes are passed. We also have minutes from, we will jump the mayor's report for now. We go visitors. We have visitors here. Would you like to speak to council?
Sure.
Okay, name and address.
Muffy Sherwin, 138 Holly Lane, South Russell. We have been talking about building a bocce court in our park. We are one of the only villages, towns that do not have bocce courts right now. There are a lot of people that play at the Bentleyville Court, Sugar Falls Court, Russell Court. It's a great way to bring families out, friends out, meet your neighbors. South Russell has invested a lot of money in the toilets, the pavilion, the crosswalk, the playground, and now we're looking at doing something that families can actually do, that adults can do. And it's a tiny little bit of money, especially if we can use our road crew to help install it. We're looking at wood for the frame, gravel, and we can get people to donate the equipment, the balls, and to build the scoreboard. So we're asking the village to allow the funds to go toward developing a bocce court. And I haven't met with Tim, I think it is the road crew out there, but I've watched since spring, and we did get permission from Western Reserve to put it in the mode area, and there was some question about it interfering with the water swales and the drainage. Where we're looking, it's just a little bit above that, it's not very big, it should not interfere with it at all. And being that it's gravel and porous, any water that's there is gonna be absorbed and moved through anyway.
If I recall, there is a bocce ball league in the Sugar Valley.
Yeah.
Right? About how many teams are there, do you know?
Roughly about 18 to 20.
18 to 20, and then if we would do this, then we could be a part of that league.
If we wanted to,
If we
yeah.
wanted to.
The way the bocce leagues work, right now they're using the two courts, Bentleyville and Chagrin Falls at River Run. And they play all summer long, and they're usually like Tuesdays and Thursdays, and they do two games. One is at like 6 and like 6:15 to 7:30, and then the next one's following it. And that's what they use. It has worked well, but we really like the idea, and in talking to neighbors, and unfortunately, with travel and our work schedules, we have not been able to go door to door and have people sign a petition of interest, but everybody we've talked to has been interested in it, and I think it would be a great asset to our community.
These locales that have bocce courts, do they have a little compartment where they keep bocce balls?
Yeah, they answered that,
A
yeah.
chest, yeah.
Is it a combination or is it a lock?
Box, yeah, you could put a lock on.
So like one of those big Rubbermaid
Yeah.
type things?
It's not even a Rubbermaid, it's more like, the one that they had, well, first of all, the one that they had at Bentleyville, you had to go to the police department and pick it up. The one that they have at Chagrin, they have like a boat box, that had,
now.
and yeah,
So they just leave everything in them.
and you can have a lockbox code. Right now, they're not locked. They haven't had a problem.
Because if somebody wants to play, they don't have a
Yeah.
combination.
So they leave them open, and occasionally you get a Polina that's missing, but you know, we usually logically get you at the beginning of summer, refills, whatever is needed.
Okay,
So,
just for the record, can we have the other two, Alex, give your name and address?
Oh, I'm sorry, Allison Dean, 920 Bell Road.
Sarah Pastel, 105 Alderwood.
We'll try to determine who said what when there is not,
No, but-
it's not, never easy.
Sorry.
Okay,
so
other comments?
we need,
Well,
they need to meet
question.
with Tim and see what placement? Is that true? Yes.
I think that's a couple steps down the road.
Yeah, can I suggest, I chair properties at the moment, and I'm also the liaison to the park committee, okay? And the park committee is aware that you've asked the question, but they haven't really had any discussion about it. They were kind of waiting to see if you were going to make it to any of the meetings. And unfortunately, I can't tell you when the next park committee is scheduled, because we haven't scheduled it.
Oh, maybe that was where they, before they asked, that was-
Right, okay. But I think it would be perfectly reasonable to say, this, you want to be in the park committee is responsible for making a recommendation to council. So, I need to contact you, tell you when park committee is going to meet.
You know, we want
You
that.
come, we have the discussion, we figure out what we want to do, and then we make a recommendation to council, as to what makes sense,
Perfect.
okay?
It might be advisable to have a sketch of what you want, or what you envision as the courts, where they are in the park, like how far from the pavilion. So you give a visual representation to the park committee about what this is gonna look like, where it's going to be, how tall it's going to be, all that kind of stuff. And it wouldn't surprise me if they would ask you for a design, as it were, for the bocce court in themselves and the location for each. You're talking about two, right?
No, one, just one.
Just one, where it might be,
Yeah.
how big is it, that kind of
I
thing.
mean, you want us to.
Well, yeah, the last time we
As for
did
the road, you
have,
might get an island, right?
yeah, the last time we did have paperwork on that, but we'll absolutely
Yeah,
bring it to the park.
I don't think they've seen a design or a location or anything like that, so if you come with that information, that would give them a basis to perhaps even give you some indication that night of what direction they might be going. But I agree with Councilman Berger, the park committee oversees the park, both north and south.
That was submitted to the park committee. We gave them a dimensions and everything of what we thought we needed and where we would like to see it. Not exact location, but an estimated
They're
location.
gonna wanna know the location.
It was in pictures, so,
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll put stakes
That would not be a bad
Put
idea.
stakes in.
Definitely. Put 4 stakes and get
Is that
some,
allowed, that's allowed?
yeah. This,
Well, we can at
I'd
least
say,
do it for a picture.
when you know the day of it, the day of the meeting,
I'm sorry?
like, when you know the day of the meeting,
Yeah.
maybe like 4 or 5 days ahead, put 4 stakes and get some yellow caution tape so that people can see this is your proposed location. That's just a proposed location, okay?
It also seems to me that, park committee has met at the pavilion before.
We do all summer. I
don't know
doubt,
this time of year.
I doubt that we will meet at the pavilion now, we will probably be here.
Well, there is a fireplace, you can drop the screens.
But if you map it out, we will take pictures, we can,
Yeah.
we can make sure that that information is available to them so that they can weigh in on this subject. And then we can proceed from there.
So girls, just tell me this, like teams, how many people are on one team?
You can have anywhere from like 2 or 3 to
4,
8
6, I mean, when you get more than that, it's too.
You just have to have 2 people at least show up on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it depends on who shows that.
4 people, usually, like, if just families were doing it, you're looking at maybe 2 on each side for a minimum, and then they might rotate more.
I mean, there's teams that they have like 16 people and they just like rotate out during, like, whoever's in town shows up kind of thing, and there's teams that have 3 players.
Okay,
Yeah, so it would be,
varies a lot.
it does vary.
Okay.
But I'm looking at it as a family thing too. Like, your kids are in, you're here for, let's say we have good weather, Thanksgiving. Great thing to go out there with your family and play. And maybe somebody else is out there and you meet them and you play. That's one of the things that I'm looking at a little bit more for our community, rather than doing it for the league.
Okay.
Now, if we do the league, that's great, but I really think there's not much there for adult families to do.
Do you envision people making reservations for this? Just
I mean,
showing, just showing.
Yeah,
I think.
if it gets busy,
Yeah, I think it's up to the village, really, like, if we're gonna put it in, and you guys monitor the parks, if you guys want a fee for someone's $5 fee for an hour or whatever, like, run it with the pavilion, I think that's kind of up to the park committee, how they wanna handle that, it could go to maintenance, so.
One thing I would add is, in your presentation to the Parks Committee, it'd be great if you had a couple of examples, maybe pictures of the storage chest and the scoreboard.
yeah,
We
we
have
have
willing to get donations for it, but.
Yeah, but somebody has to
what
have
it
it
looks like.
right now.
And I have a visual.
What they look like.
It's easy, I can take pictures of what Russell has,
Yeah,
what
that's what I'm saying, but
everybody else has.
it helps the
I actually
guys
have
on the
it,
Parks
yeah.
Committee to
Yeah.
visualize a little bit better too, so.
No, I.
Muffy, where is Russell's located at?
You know where they took the school down, and then there's that park, Overland?
Yes.
So in there, I think they have like 4 or something, they have a bunch of them right there by their pavilion.
That's actually Newberry.
Oh, Newberry, sorry, yeah, sorry.
We
Yeah,
have 2
not
big
Russell.
courts. Where the Newberry School is, they tore it down and
You're
then
not
took
talking
the
Russell's
park.
school, okay.
Yeah, I didn't mean Russell, I'm sorry.
Okay,
All right.
The former home of the Black
want
Knights.
to.
Question
Okay,
mark.
It's
Any
sort of
other-
that way.
Like that?
Any other questions or comments?
thank you for coming.
No, not yet. Equipment provided. Why do people provide equipment? I'm thinking of a baseball, kids bring their bats and balls. That's a standard procedure that the equipment is there.
No, you can,
People don't
I
bring it.
have my own set.
Okay, some people bring it from home.
Yeah, you can, yeah.
Okay,
I would be happy to donate my set, so, let's say, some parents are there watching their kids on the playground and they wanna do something. They can play.
okay. In your proposed location, one of the things we try to respect are the neighbors that live across the street from the park. Not to have anything that kind of spoils their view or anything on that side of the pavilion. We just tried to do that. It's no
Right.
guarantee.
It's not gonna be as hideous as the bathrooms are to our neighborhood. It's gonna be tucked in, up behind the pavilion, and it's low. I mean, we're not gonna.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah, I've gone to both locations, and taken pictures and brought them, so everyone has seen the pictures. Suggestion, when you make your little presentation to the park committee, maybe ahead of time, tell them the exact location of the Chagrin and the Bentleyville. So
Okay.
that, because you can drive right by both of them, never know that there's a bocce ball court down there. What's the noise level?
Less than the playground?
It's directly proportional to the alcohol.
Less than the pavilion,
Less than the playground.
Okay, next question. Alcohol,
That's South Russell rules.
That's the rule.
it's not a part of it, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know if the other communities allow it or not.
I don't know, I think it's no, but yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
I don't have the official ruling on yes or no.
But you mentioned that some people could donate material. Chagrin put one in, I think it was $13,000. Chagrin Falls Village did it all. Do you expect any people that are gonna, any sugar daddies or with donations coming or something like that?
Taxpayers?
Yeah, I was gonna say, we're looking for the park funds to fund it.
Okay,
And it's pretty small amount, somewhere like around 10 grand is what we're looking at. We have maintenance crew put it in.
okay.
I think that's what you're gonna do.
What maintenance? When we went out and looked, the Bentleyville one, frankly, that in the spring looked a mess. Chagrin's looked immaculate. What is done during the summertime for maintenance?
Well, the one thing that we've had is like a rake that we have it, and the people that play just,
Yeah,
Clean
I
it up.
believe so, before even our league begins in the summer, there's a bunch of teams that get together and fix up the courts, put new gravel down, rake it out, and we're all good about keeping up with, raking it and keeping it clean.
The maintenance itself is relatively low. The Bentleyville court has been resurfaced. It was pretty messy and it's still not great. I think that's the foundation wasn't put in really well. The Chagrin foundation was really smooth to begin with. They have once since the last 4 years I've played it, redone the, like the sand or dust in the court. So the maintenance itself is relatively low.
And you're talking treated wood that can last 20, 30 years.
The wood looks great on those courts and Brad's been playing like 10 years and
Yeah.
it's been the same way, so.
yeah, I think the big mistake with Bentleyville is they have kind of the rocks on the side, and
And it's
you get
right,
kids that throw it in there.
plus the tree above just drops
Yeah.
down, too,
Yeah.
so it's under a tree.
I think the surface was not a great place
Yeah.
to start.
So I think we learned from that.
When somebody wants to reserve the pavilion, it's kind of assumed that they get the pavilion, they don't get the playground. I was trying to think if they could see it, if there would ever be a hassle of someone saying, well, I reserved a pavilion, I don't want people playing bocce ball
I think it's
nearby.
far enough away, and this will, I think you have the playground here, the pavilion here, and the bocce court there. So I think it's probably as far away as the playground is from the pavilion, that it shouldn't bother the people. If anything, they probably enjoy using it.
We want it close enough that you could use it if you did rent the pavilion and feel like you were part of your party, but also far enough if you didn't want to use it and someone else was, it doesn't feel like someone's on top of you.
When you came in the spring, I think your location is north of, or on the other side of, between the fireplace and the
Yes.
field.
Yeah.
We've had to put in all sorts of drainage, put in a rain
It's
garden
above that,
to hold that, control
Yeah,
that
it's
water.
above that drainage.
Okay,
You can meet with Tim if he wants to go out there and look at it.
let's do this. I'm gonna have the street commissioner contact you and walk with you through this. Who's gonna be the victim who gets the phone? All right, Melissa, you got it.
I need to meet with him anyway. Something separate.
Okay, I will have him connect with you guys, walk through it.
Okay.
He's got different ideas. He's talked about this already. He knows what you're thinking, and he's got his own ideas, so.
And
Maybe
we're not set on where we want it, that was just a recommendation.
No,
Yeah.
no.
He can advise you, and then when you go to the park committee, you have a better idea of where it's going to be, what it's going to look like, so you can tell them.
Perfect, yeah, we don't want it to drown, we want it to.
They'll probably ask you about the drainage situation.
Yeah.
All right, so before Thanksgiving, there'll be a meeting. Before Thanksgiving, you'll walk the property. And you'll be back here probably
I'll be here.
December or January.
Perfect.
All right. Thank you all for coming. If you'd like to
Thank you,
stay, feel
ladies.
free, but there may be other things that you need to do.
You guys have a great night, thanks.
Thank you. Okay, before we go to the mayor's report, we're going to go back up to the minutes. We have minutes of the Monday, October 20th special council meeting. Did everyone get a chance to see those?
Move to approve.
Moved by Porter, seconded by Kavanaugh. All those in favor say aye. Opposed, minutes are passed. Okay, we are at the mayor's report. Danielle pointed out in her report, which is coming up, Dave Hosevar, again this year, his account is gonna run out. Just know that ARB, BZA, and the PC. I guess I'd say they're all just booming. The last PC meeting, I think there were 5 different items. So that's going to be coming. Remind you, in 2 weeks from today is the Veterans Breakfast. It's at 9 o'clock on Monday, and it'll be at Sleepy Rooster, as always. The guest speakers will be the women who run the Geauga Veterans Food Pantry. At your place, at your seat someplace, is a proposal for the America 250th celebration, the semi-quincentennial, well, something like that. It's just something that I drew up. I gave it to Ruth. Ruth and I have been going there. I estimated the prices on what I've heard from other people. So it's something to think about when we get near budget time. And last thing is, at the next meeting, I believe Sugarbush is here. Is that correct? Yes. Sugarbush. They'll be here to talk about their silt pond. Okay, questions of the mayor? Hearing none, fiscal officer, you're up.
As the mayor reported, Inspection Solutions, there isn't going to, because of the contract is limited to 48,250, and we're almost at that. I would hope somebody would make a motion during your report. Okay. And then the other thing is Thursday and Friday of last week, we did the training for the switching over the finance software to UAN. So it was a lot of setting up our new account numbers and everything in the new system, but I think it's going to be good. It's just overwhelming because there's a lot of information, but it's going to be good.
They came here or you went somewhere?
We did it through, he was a Teams meeting, so.
So you have to switch everything.
Well, I had to set up, how we have all our line items and they all have an assigned number. Well, you have to go to the state's assigned number. So now it's trying to go, okay, our number was this, and then figure out what theirs, because theirs are set in stone, and then it was add more to that. And so it was a lot of setting up, almost like programming the system. So I was, my brain was mushed by the end of Friday, and I had dreams about UAN's Friday night, but I think it's going to be good when it's up and running. And, the chief, I showed him a couple of the reports today, and he thinks it looks good. So it's going to be a good thing. It's just the transition getting there. So that's all I have.
Questions of the fiscal officer? Probably one, what can we do to make life better for you for the next 2 months? You've got that, and you've got the budget coming in.
Well, we are in the middle budget, and I'm waiting on a lot of stuff from a lot of people. And, you know, if we had more definitive things, like not just throwing out there in the mayor's report that we're possibly adding another $8,400 to the semi-sequential. So I am hoping this week to be able to have a draft to council what the budget looks like. And then I don't know if we're going to have another budget work session or what, just because people keep throwing things in the mix. So, and I don't have definitive answers. So I'm just going to put together what I have and get it to council before the next meeting, and then hopefully go from there.
So
Okay.
we could meet earlier. Is that what you're thinking of if we have to do another meeting?
Maybe before the next couple, I'll see what it all comes out looking like, you know, now that we know the fire and ambulance and the, because we'll have to make amendments in January to our revenues because, you know, so there's a lot of things like that that have to be tweaked. And, you know, with the service department, there was a lot of capital projects to purchase, but then there was questions. So I guess we have to just see how it's all going to shake out. And then things like this $8,400, I'll put those off to the side, and then council will have to decide on those things once. So what I'll do is take from what we discussed in the budget work session, put those numbers in, and then anything else somebody's added in the mix and see if they fit in or not. And then I'll give it to council with the summary. And see where we end.
Can Christie help you?
No.
Okay. All right, we are at the finance committee, Jerry.
Thank you very much, Mayor. Next meeting of finance will be held on Friday, November 21st at 3:15 p.m. here at the Village Hall. All checks have been signed and cross-checked for the month of October. On October 21st, we had Meter Financial Advisory Service Report that Mr. Berger has. Now I'll be passing this to council. Okay. And I have some significant projected expenses coming up this year and next year. Salt building, $800,000, 2025 road program, $402,000. In 2026, the Bell Road East paving, $650,000. 2026 bike walking trails, $275,000. Hemlock culvert, $74,000. Hazelwood culvert, $400,000. Large equipment purchases, $375,000. And service department garage doors, $67,500. Councilman Porter, anything to add?
Nothing to add to that, other than, we're talking about the, other big stormwater project. Hazelwood, I think.
That was in there.
Okay, I didn't hear that. Thank you.
Yes,
Nothing to
the
add.
Hazelwood, the Hazelwood culvert was for $400,000.
That sounds right. Okay.
Okay,
Thank you.
I yield the floor.
Any questions of the finance committee?
I just have a quick one. So meter comes, do they just look over? Do they give advice? Tell me about meter in their report.
Well, they give us a status of how we're doing, and then yeah, you might help me out here. There was a new product that she said we could get into.
Yeah, which I have for that. So,
Money market, right?
yeah, so there was, Eileen comes out now twice a year and she looks at, our cash balances. And then I put together that list of big expenses that are coming up because we're trying to find out if we can invest longer term to get more interest. But right now we have a lot of big projects that if those go in, our cash, we're gonna need that cash. So we can't invest it 5 years out if we're gonna need it next year or the year after. So we really have to come up with a 5-year plan so we know how to invest our money. So when she comes out, she just reviews all that with us and then we have the discussion, can we invest longer or is it better to keep our investments short term? For now, we've decided to keep it short term and hopefully these big projects will get done and hopefully we'll get a 5-year plan in place soon. The other thing is right now we have, Meter manages our money, but it's actually invested in US Bank. So Meter has a new program that they can manage it and it would be a sweep account. We would pay a little bit less in fees to them. So they just forwarded me that information, which I forwarded to the Treasury Investment Board. And I don't know if we'll have a joint finance Treasury investment meeting to go over that to decide if, finance wants to make that change. So we'll look, and of course, council would have to weigh in on that. But another way to try to save a little bit of money in the fees for investing.
I don't know what sweep account is.
Okay, so sweep account is you have X amount of dollars in your bank account. And every night they would come in and theoretically sweep those funds out, invest them in an overnight interest-bearing instrument, and then the next morning, those funds would be returned to your account. That's a sweep,
Okay.
okay? You can also set it up to say, I want a minimum of $1 million in my bank account, sweep everything over the top of that, and then put it in a longer-term interest-bearing account, whatever. It's all about how much interest you can make. I think I read quickly through that report, but I think the average was 3.96% was the interest earned, which amounted to, did I see about $32,000 in interest this year?
Yeah.
Okay, was earned. The projection for 2026 is for interest rates to go down. They're actually projecting right now by the end of 2026 that interest rates will fall below 3% on short term. So if that were the case, if everything else stayed the same, instead of having $32,000 in interest, we would only make probably $24,000 in interest. So, I mean, anything you can do to increase the time that you have your money in an interest-bearing account, you make more money, and that's the goal.
Thank you.
And that's why it's beneficial if we have a 5-year plan, so if we're putting money aside for something we know we're doing further out, we can invest that money now and get the interest. But since we don't have a plan right now, we're just keeping most of it short term, which is usually a lower interest rate. Right now, it's higher, but the trend would be to go down.
Okay, thanks.
At this meeting with
Thanks.
Meter, we used Ike Tripp. Ike is like a citizen advisor, and he's proven to be very good. Before that, we had Tom King, was a professor at Case Western Reserve. So they're good. They have a different point of view, and then they also have some very good pointed questions. Anything else for the Finance Committee? Solicitor, you're up.
I have nothing to report.
Okay, questions of the solicitor? Street Committee.
Street Committee met last month. I submitted my minutes, and if anyone has any questions, they can ask me. This motion to approve allowing the Chagrin Falls Schools to purchase salt from the village, do we do that? I'm just not up to date with it.
Every year.
Every year. So it's not a number attached to it,
No, it's a use thing, how many tons they use, and then they pay us.
and then they reimburse, okay.
Yep.
All right, so then I make a motion to approve allowing the Chagrin Falls Schools to purchase salt from the village, so moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded, discussion. All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passed. Thanks, Ruth.
Sure.
Anything else?
Yes, we did get some residents that would like to see more of a Christmas display, and I agree. We have old equipment or old lights and things, so I'm going to address that with Tim. We were a little weak on it last year.
Could we direct that to go to the Properties Committee?
We could.
We're already having conversations with the street commissioner.
Right, and we've asked for a plan to, and we're happy to share that, but we've asked for
No problem.
ideas from the street commissioner and a plan, and we've given him some direction as to what we would like to see in terms of a traditional
A
presentation.
1950s Christmas makes me happy,
Only for you.
not just for me.
Anything else for streets?
I would call those were pretty cheesy.
That's your era too, Dennis, come on.
We should try it, kid.
I don't remember any wonderful Christmas displays in the 50s.
Oh, I do.
Anything else in
That's-
streets?
That's
They were
it.
all at
Okay,
Hickory's.
questions of the street committee?
The next meeting will be November 13th at 9 AM. Buildings.
Okay, you're up.
Buildings, we did talk to Dave Hosevar. Mark and I are aware that, thank you, Danielle, for sending that out, that they're short. And the only thing, in addition to what's going on with what the mayor mentioned with extra people at, for example, planning, not extra people, but 6 items at planning commission, there is, the prosecutor, Dennis Coyne, has taken a case to municipal court. And Dave Hosevar has to give testimony, as do neighbors that have complaints. So that's an unknown. I did notice that this month, Dave's bill was around $3,600. So
And that's in addition to his 2,000
that
retained.
is in addition to his, oh, that's in addition or including the two?
In addition.
Oh, then I need to jimmy my numbers. I thought that included that. All right, here's my question to you, though. I noticed that you said November, December, and January in your report.
Because we have to pay him his retainer the last day of the month for the next month. So he gets $2,000 a month, so we would have to do a retainer for November, December, and January. So
Okay.
that's 6,000
All right,
plus whatever other expenses you think of.
we were gonna add, if it came to that, we were gonna add 2,000 a month, but it looks like we should add more than that, since there's unknown time in there.
I think 3 would be proper.
3 a month,
3,000 per month
yeah.
additional.
So then, I'm going to ask that we do $9,000 extra, not to exceed $9,000 extra. And how will that work, Danielle, if he doesn't spend it? It comes-
That's just, we're budgeted, I can pay up to that amount. So
Okay.
that's, what he doesn't spend, that's fine.
And
So are you making a motion?
I'm
to that
making a
effect?
motion that we add, do I have to have specific numbers because of the 48,000?
You could put up to the 9,000 additional.
Okay, I make a motion that we allow 9,000 extra, up to 9,000 extra dollars for the next 3 months for the building department.
Meaning $3,000 per month. so it's total of
$3,000 per
9,000.
month, yeah.
Okay. Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion?
Yeah, question. So we get a report every month from the building assistant as to the revenue stream. Has anybody looked at whether or not the revenue stream is up with regard to permits and et cetera, fees charged? I mean,
I have not.
well, and I'm not saying that those fees pay all of Inspection Solutions' costs, but shouldn't we like trend analysis and say if the costs of doing all the inspections went up, did the revenue stream from the permits go up?
Presumably it does.
Presumably.
But I look month to month, like this month, I look at next month, or, but to trend it, I think is a good idea, because you're right, if Dave's spending more time doing inspections and needs more money from us for those inspections, logically, the permits would be up and the inspections would be up.
Mhm.
So,
I'm just trying to marry the two somehow so that if, for instance, Inspection Solutions was spending twice as much time on a particular project as before, our costs would be up, but our permitting fees would not be mirroring that issue.
sure.
And that's my concern.
Let's add it to our building committee agenda next time.
Okay?
Like the last 3 months, what has been the revenue and the rest
Okay.
of it. Okay.
And
Thank you.
try to do some correlation. Thank you.
Fiscal officer's 9,000 enough to get us through the year.
I think so, because he had some remaining. If not, then I'll let you know where we look at the end of November.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Ruth, the
Yes.
other Ruth can easily graph the year of income and graph days hours, so you can see them both. She could do that very easily.
I think we talked about, we needed to raise some of our permit fees, and we haven't done that as well. So thank you, Chris Berger, for bringing that up.
It might be something you want to add to her building report, the monthly report, is then you can see the trend, like what Danielle does with the income tax.
Exactly.
Same idea. Yeah, why don't we put that on the agenda?
Thank you.
Might I also suggest that you might want to reach out to other communities to see what their permit fees are and to see if we're in line.
We did.
So that would be Cuyahoga County, not Geauga.
I'll leave that to your discretion.
We'll also put that on the agenda.
All right, anything else, Ruth?
Thank you. That's enough.
Any questions of the
They
building?
also, I'm
Uh,
sorry, there is, we also meet on November 13th at 8 a.m.
So since the fiscal officer was talking about software, I'm asking, is there an update from the building committee on the software program for the
They're
building
much
department?
happier, much happier. They got a
Okay.
different teacher to go over iWorks with it. It was all in the presentation. So
Great,
Ruth was much happier.
okay.
Well, she did one module and she's got what, three?
Three modules, and they were working on permitting, so
Okay,
to the
great,
point.
wonderful. Thank you.
Chief, you're up.
Thank you. It was brought to my attention that the turkey trot committee has not approached us yet. Wanted to give you guys a heads up. They may be coming in the near future to request permission to use the village for the turkey trot. Haven't heard anything yet, though.
Mark, are you in the turkey trot?
I will. I'll do it this year. I want to wear the suit next year.
You sure
That's all I
that?
have.
I come to a council meeting with the turkey suit too.
Chief, I'll make a call.
Sounds good.
You tell them to get in here. Other questions of the police chief?
Yes, Chief, you may be aware of this, but we noticed on Manor Brook, we had a nice weekend. But weather-wise, there was a lot more motor bicycle traffic. no helmet, going quite fast.
Are you talking about e-bikes or like
Yeah.
dirt bikes?
Electric scooters,
Yeah,
Well,
and well, they look like bicycles, but they have motors.
yeah, e-bikes, but also we had dirt bikes out.
On the roads?
Non-plated.
On the
road.
Not on-road, off-road, they were off-road,
give us a call on the dirt bikes for sure.
okay?
E-bikes?
Yeah.
They're legal.
So you can't, your hands are kind of tied if the state hasn't done anything as far as licensing or not.
We can't restrict it. We can't restrict it.
So they can ride dirt bikes on the road?
There's multiple ordinances that address toy vehicles and dirt bikes.
Okay,
They are not permitted to ride
All right.
dirt bikes. And if that happens, please give us a call.
Question for Jerry and Chris, do you have any idea whether they're emanating from your
No,
community or
no.
outside?
No idea.
The dirt bike kids are definitely part of the community.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That.
I don't know about the e-bikes, but the dirt bike, yeah.
And has it been addressed with the HOA?
Not that I'm aware of, but I will make that call this week.
Yes, thank you. Please call.
Sure.
Questions of the police chief? Chief, very complimentary article in Chagrin Valley Times about the bullet
Mhm.
and your your entire department's response to that. Very well done.
Thank you.
Safety committee, Chris is not here. Dennis?
All right, basically, just a recap is interviews for potential candidates on full-time and part-time positions for the police department were held on the 16th of this month. I did not attend as I was down in Columbus for the, I think municipal league or somewhere, but the basic, that was the only matters discussed at that last meeting. And right now, the schedule for the next meeting is to be determined. The police chief has a conflict on the regularly scheduled day, so we'll be getting together as a committee with the chief and determining a suitable date.
And to elaborate on the candidates, we have one full-time candidate and one internal promotion to possibly bring at the November 10th council meeting.
And that's the report.
Questions of the safety committee? Hearing none, the HR committee, Chris is not here, so Chris will take over.
Yep, and the only thing I have to report is that on November 11th, 2025, oh, that's actually, we're not open.
Veterans Day,
That's Veterans Day.
I believe it to be a Tuesday.
Yep. So we will move that to the 18th at 7:30 to meet for the next meeting of HR.
Anything else?
That's it.
Questions of the HR committee? Hearing none, property committee, Chris?
Property committee met on October 23rd. Minutes are not yet available, but will be shortly. The next meeting of properties is scheduled November 20th, 2025 at 9 a.m., subject to council's availability.
Questions of the properties committee? Parks committee?
And no report.
Public utilities committee?
Thank you, Mayor. Public Utilities met not too terribly long ago. The minutes are in your packets. With regard to some of the things that were discussed and that have been in progress over the last several months, particularly the license agreements for pond monitoring for Sugarbush and for Paw Paw, were submitted by the solicitor, and it occurs to the committee that these should be forwarded to the HOAs for consideration and possible signature. Fundamentally, it's a year-to-year kind of agreement with a termination date or termination clause. The village would do pond monitoring for Sugarbush, or for Silt Pond and the regular pond, Paw Paw, their Silt Pond, regular pond, or lake, I guess I should say, by the village, particularly the service department. And then they would consider it and then get back to us whether or not they're interested in bringing to them. They indicated at the public utilities meeting that they would in fact be okay with that. So Kyle Cantor is the HOA president for Sugar Bush has made that indication, and Joe Panicki is a board member at Paw Paw, who also indicated it would be favorably considered. So if Danielle, we can submit those to them and then see what they think, and then when they get back to us, then we consider whether or not the mayor should be authorized to sign them. But this time I would make a motion that the village provide the license agreements drafted by the solicitor for the purposes of pond monitoring to the HOA boards for Paw Paw Lake and Sugar Bush respectively. So moved.
I second.
Discussion.
Am I allowed to vote?
Are you a board member of the HOA?
No.
I don't know that it's a direct conflict, because every resident would probably benefit.
I can't.
I'm trying to think out loud, sorry.
Okay.
I'm not really 100% sure. I thought at one point you were on the board, actually.
I was, I came off.
Okay. I don't know that it's a direct conflict anymore, so I think you can probably vote. But question, Sugar Bush HOA is not the only party to that license agreement, if you recall, because that silk pond hits every resident on the, whatever side would that be, the western side of Sugar Bush Lane. So it's actually, there are numerous individual residents. So sending it just to the HOA, I'm assuming then they will then disperse it to those other homeowners.
Yes,
And then the other thing is the HOA an active HOA?
I checked the Secretary of State website about a week ago. They are not. And Kyle Cantor indicated they're in the process of doing that.
Okay,
Of course, we're not signing anything, more correctly, the mayor's not signing anything like that until they are an active legal entity recognized by the Secretary of State for the state of Ohio.
okay.
Which is why I would like to send it to them and then get their response.
Good idea.
So the agreement is with us, because the last time we did it with Sugar Bush, the agreement was with them and they paid it and we reimbursed them.
This is a license, right, this is the license agreement.
Okay, so this is
between
something
the HOA and the different property owners, that all touch the, I guess I didn't remember that Sugar Bush had a silt pond and a lake.
They do,
So it's for both.
yes.
I apologize, do you think that, I don't have the license agreement in front of me, but did the license, I don't know if the license agreement addressed both, including Paw Paw. I actually thought it was just that lower portion of Paw Paw, not the actual lake. Do you remember, because at one point, that whole parcel was like, it's like 49 acres.
Yeah.
And we were thinking of actually splitting that off, or we had proposed, hey, let's split it off and we'll just do that bottom portion. So I guess I need to maybe go back and look at the license agreements and make sure it does include actually the lake.
Let us include the lake and the pond
Lake
and
and
both
pond,
silt ponds. I thought when I read it that it was,
Both?
for Paw Paw it was both. I thought for
Okay.
Sugar Bush it was too, but
Okay, I'll take a
pending the
look.
solicitor's revision as necessary of the licensing agreements.
So there's a first and a second, so
Is it ready for a vote, Mayor?
I think, any other discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Oh, is that a nay?
One
Okay. One nay. That is simply to present to them the agreements.
Right.
Did we even have to do that? I mean, couldn't we just given those agreements to them to take a look at this and we can talk about it a month from now?
I would think that we'd still want council approval on what the
Okay.
agreement is.
Okay,
The approval is to send the agreements to those two HOAs for their review. And at our next Public Utilities Committee meeting, I envision both of those homeowner associations representatives to be in attendance to further let us know what more we need to add or subtract from their point of view.
okay. Floor's still yours. We got another one
Yes,
coming.
next one. Speaking of Sugar Bush, the Sugar Bush dredge contract, the street commissioner got a hold of the contractor who had quoted us $33,950 back in January, indicated that the quote is still good, and that if the village were inclined to do so, it could go ahead and rely on that price that was in the January quote. So you had indicated, Mayor, that Sugar Bush would be in attendance at the November 10th meeting.
Yes.
As I recall.
Yes.
And that would be the time to act on that, but just so council knows, the contractor has affirmed they will do the job for the quoted price. And I would leave it to the contractor whether they do it sooner or later in the current year. But it's late October, so the reality may be that they want to wait till next year. And we'll firm that out before the 10th meeting.
What sort of contract should we have?
Right, I mean, have we received anything from the contractor other than the proposal of the amount of money?
We got the quote
Okay,
from the contractor. And I suppose a formal agreement between the village and the contractor would be in order.
yes, with terms and conditions and the whole.
Yes. And that the, once Sugar Bush is officially recognized by the Secretary of State, then we would send them perhaps a letter agreement that they're going to reimburse the village for 20% of the cost of that $33,950 by a certain date.
Right,
And so we start with the contractor, we go from there. And let's see, I remember.
You will develop that agreement?
I mean, I can, but I would think that the contractor has a standard, so do we have the name of the contractor?
It's on the quote. I don't have the quote handy.
CMG.
Is it CMG?
CMG.
I would think that they have a
There we
contract.
go.
Let's
Yeah,
first
no,
ask
no,
if they do, because then I would, you don't want to reinvent the wheel. Let me at least review theirs and we can discuss about if there's any revisions. I think that would
Yes.
probably be more efficient.
I think that's fine, sure. So CMG is the contractor, gave us the quote, and we can go from there. The next item there would be NextEra Energy. They're the supplier of electricity for our few streetlights that we have. The contract is coming to an end, and they sent us a note to remind us that we are coming to the end of the contract, and we would like to sign up with them again. I don't know that there's been a problem. I think their rate is still competitive. So at this point, Public Utilities would be inclined to recommend that the village renew its agreement with NextEra Energy for the purposes of streetlight electricity for 2026. I think it's a one-year agreement, Danielle, isn't it?
Well, I don't know, I didn't review it. I was in training.
That seems, that's my recollection. I think it's a one, yeah, I think it is a 1 year.
Can we hold this off till we talk to this? Have you talked to the street commissioner?
I haven't talked to the street commissioner, but this ends like November 9th, Daniel?
Oh.
It's like soon.
So we gotta approve it.
Leslie brought this to our
Yeah.
attention, actually, and that was timely of her because it's like the end of the year. Oh, contract end date, December 4th, 2025. So, but it's a 30-day termination notice. That's
It's
what I
a
remember.
3-year contract.
3 years, okay. Let's go with 3 years then. So a motion might be in order, Mayor, to take care of this.
Do we need any information from the street commissioner as to
well-
how many we have? Do you
For
have any
this,
concerns?
for this thing, it's a 3-year contract. We don't have the agreement yet, and we were in the process of, the street commissioner was gonna try, Leslie was trying to find out from them how we get the agreement, and we haven't gotten real far with that, and that's what she asked you about last week, and you said to give it to the street commissioner. Because we're trying to get the agreement, because it's a 3-year agreement, but we don't have the agreement.
Do we have the old agreement?
I think that would have been done by legislation. I have to find it, but I don't know if they changed it.
We hold this off till the 10th.
Well, I have a solution, Mayor. How about this, Danielle? I move that pending receipt of a contract acceptable to the solicitor by NextEra Energy, that the mayor be authorized to enter into a 3-year agreement with NextEra Energy for the purposes of electricity provision to the streetlights currently served in the village. So moved.
We need a second, move in second, discussion. All right, I think you've covered it all. We can do this if they do their part.
Yeah.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion passes.
Let's see, and the last, I took care of that. No further items pending any further comments by Councilman Kent.
I have.
Nope, we got one here.
What is it?
On
The-
public
the motion.
utilities.
Oh, yeah, well, okay. This time I'd like to move to acknowledge the intra-corporate transition of assets from Windstream Kinetic and other wholly owned affiliates of Unity Group, Inc. to Kinetic ABS Ohio LLC, and to authorize the mayor to execute the acknowledgement form on behalf of the contract. So moved.
Second.
Discussion,
For everybody, it was in the package, fundamentally it's a corporate transfer of assets from one entity to another with no change in service, as I recall, Deputy Right Chief,
What's that, I'm sorry?
that the provision of services by Kinetic would be the same as before, but the entity that owns them is different.
I'm not even sure what we're talking about.
Yeah, no, that's correct, Mark. So it's just a corporate transition from the assets of the fiber and the copper that are basically installed for internet and Windstream and whatever. So they have a map. I don't know if you saw that in your packet of where everything's located. Some of it is located in the right of way. This is just so that the village understands that it might be Kinetic coming here, asking for a permit from the building department when they're doing work in the right of way, not Windstream, because it's been a corporate transition. It's just an acknowledgement that in fact this transition has happened. The village is aware of it.
I turned to you because you're the IT guy.
Sorry.
Stop the IT
I
guy.
had no idea on that one.
it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the motion passes. Anything else for the Public Utilities Committee?
Nothing further, Mayor.
All right, no ordinances, resolutions, we're at the bills list.
Thank you, Mayor. Motion to ratify the bill list of October 20th, 2025, in the amount of $59,793.76.
Roll call, please.
Berger.
Wait, we need a second.
Oh, sorry.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, roll
Who did
call.
the second quarter? Thank you.
Yes.
Berger,
Aye.
Canton,
Aye.
Kavanaugh,
Aye.
Kalicki,
Recuse, and the reason being is my daughter is an employee of Chagrin Valley Fire Department, part-time, and I've been informed that I cannot approve the billing, the periodic billing for the previously approved contract.
Porter,
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. We were at new other.
Berger,
Okay, I have several things to say. We had a situation in our community that culminated in the discussions on 13 October 2025 council meeting that I believe require our attention. At the end of the comments on the Chagrin Valley Fire Department contract, the mayor thanked the audience for not being disagreeable. I cannot agree with some people's interpretation of these events. They may have enjoyed the way in which council was set upon during the meeting, but it did not further the good order of this body and its function to better the lives of our residents. Rather, the mayor's comments only served to encourage the angry voices of the few that shout the loudest in hopes that such behavior will sway council to their view, whether valid or not. Rationalizing these events in any other terms must command further inquiry of this body. From the comments made to me during this time and since, I fear that actions in social media and other conversations prior to the 13 October meeting may have served to suppress the voices of opposing viewpoints to stand and have their voices heard for fear of retribution. If that be the case, then we have failed the democratic process we claim to hold dear. I also want to particularly address the social media rants made prior to and during the meeting, as well now after. These rants have been labeled disgusting, abusive, and unconscionable by both members of council and the community. One purported to be the authoritative voice based upon prior experience with an adjoining village council and included declarations questioning the authorship of the posts involved and whether council members were hiding behind someone else's social media account. Most of these rants sought neither constructive dialogue nor provided an informed viewpoint. Let me be clear. As elected officials, we are compelled to endure a higher level of vitriol and abuse from the public. It is not pleasant, but it goes with the job. but residents of our village posting factual information in an attempt to help other residents understand the issues should not have to endure the bullying that was and continues to be heaped upon them. If the vitriol scared someone with an opposing viewpoint away from speaking at the 13 October meeting, such bullying is contemptible. Online bullies should know that this matter and other posts have been referred to law enforcement, and that should cybercrime charges be warranted, they will be forthcoming. We, as the elected officials of South Russell, should be compelled by reason and good judgment not to fan the flames of discord within our community by offering safe conduct to those who would offer patent lies as alternative facts. Every resident of South Russell and their opposing opinions should be represented and heard by council. More fully, I want to take this opportunity to address my comments of 23 October 2025. I do so in the hopes that my thoughts tonight will settle the matter and that council can find a way forward. There is a fundamental problem now before council. We have repeatedly seen over past years the mayor's refusal to comply with council instructions to the point of ignoring our rules, our motions, our ordinances, and the Ohio Revised Code. The mayor has been talked to privately and in council by members of council and the solicitor on multiple occasions with no discernible change in attitude. The situation with the Chagrin Valley Fire Department contract is just the latest in the lengthy line of transgressions. I want to now explain my understanding of the timeline of this situation and the ramification of the mayor's actions in this matter. In this discussion, I am not concerned with the actions of CDFD and their staff. My focus is on the mayor. And let me be clear, my intention from the beginning in July 2025 was to investigate alternatives to the Chagrin Valley Fire Department from a standpoint of expense. This contract represents currently approximately 10% of the village annual budget, and as adopted will increase that to a minimum of 20% over the next 3 years. I did not know then, and I do not know now, whether alternatives such as Bainbridge or Russell Township were interested or viable in making a proposal for providing services to the village. Should they have made a proposal, council could have evaluated the proposed services to be provided, the quality of those services, and the costs in a comparative process, just as the village does with every other third-party contract we sign, and then provide the residents with all the facts and invite their input before making an informed, sound decision. In no way was I suggesting that the village move from CDFD. Frankly, as we stand today, I have no idea if the village is getting a good deal, a bad deal, or a competitive deal with Chagrin Valley. I don't have the necessary information to make an informed decision. I believe the mayor saw to it that we never reached a comparative process. I want to address the comments of Mr. Flays from the 13 October 2025 council meeting. Mr. Flays accused the mayor and council of dereliction of duty in bringing the opportunity to explore service alternatives to Chagrin Valley at this late date. If Mr. Flays is listening, I invite your close attention as I am about to say something I have rarely ever said. Mr. Flays was correct. I fully admit to my failure to recognize the depth of the mayor's actions until his aborted visit to Russell Township, their trustee meeting on 18 September 2025. Until that point, the mayor had repeatedly reassured me that a negotiated settlement at less than the proposal from Chagrin Valley would be achieved. I did not know then that the mayor had represented the village at the 25 June meeting with CDFD to create the proposal. It is possible there were discussions prior to 25 June between the mayor and CDFD, but the record so far on this point is unclear. Chief Zugan of Chagrin Valley Fire Department sent an email to Mayor Coons on 4 September in which he said, quote, Thank you for participating in the early discussions regarding our proposed fire and EMS contract, unquote. What early meetings he is referring to is unknown, and whether they occurred prior to the 25 June 2025 is also unknown. What is clear is that there were more than one meeting and that these were, quote, early discussions, unquote. It would be instructive to know the timing and substance of these discussions. Regardless, they were not authorized discussions by South Russell Council, and again, the mayor's participation in them exceeded the mayor's authority. When I first saw the contract in July, I met with the mayor. My calendar says July 16th, but that date may be an error. He assured me the numbers were no more than a negotiating tactic and that the contract would be signed at no more than a 6% annual increase with no EMT clawback. He just needed time to make that happen. I trusted the mayor, my error. On the morning of 13 August 2025, the mayor sent an email to Chief Zugan stating, quote, FYI only, John Finley and I met, and he will be bringing a proposal for 9%, but act surprised, unquote. John Finley is the Chagrin Falls Township trustee rep to the advisory board. Again, why would the mayor send such an email? I admit I would not have been a fan of 9% with no EMS clawback, but it's a better deal for our residents than 12%. Why was the mayor saying, quote, act surprised, unquote? I will leave that to your considered judgment. At the August 13th meeting at CBFD, when the entreaties of John Finley for that 9% increase went unheard by Chagrin Valley, the mayor representing the village to the advisory board not only voted for the contract, but called the question and then polled the representatives of the other municipalities to encourage their consent. While I attended this meeting, I was compelled to leave early for a prior commitment. Councilman Bell, Canton, and Galicki were in attendance during the meeting, and it is from their eyewitness accounts that we know exactly what happened. I'm confident the mayor's actions were unauthorized. Why do I know this? I know because on 13 June 2022, 3 years prior to this meeting, the South Russell Council approved a motion appointing the chair of its safety committee as the designated representative to the Chagrin Valley Fire Department Advisory Board. The fiscal officer can confirm the accuracy of this statement. The transcribed minutes of this meeting state that the mayor even, quote, said he would like to appoint the head of the safety committee to serve as the representative to the CBFD advisory committee, unquote. At the time, Councilman Canton served as chair, and now Councilman Belt is the chair. Therefore, under the motion as passed, the mayor had no authority to represent the village to CBFD after 13 June 2022. And any communication between the mayor and Chagrin Valley should have been referred to Councilman Canton and then Bell for their action and report to the safety committee and then to council if necessary. And the mayor should have duly informed Chagrin Valley and then recused himself from any further contact. The mayor, in his own words, knew that he did not have the authority or even the responsibility to do what he did, and yet, as we plainly see, he did it. Further, any contract with South Russell having terms and conditions binding the village requires council approval under Ohio Revised Code. Anyone serving as the SRD representative to the advisory board of Chagrin Valley would not and did not have authority to bind council as the contract had such terms and conditions. Either way, the mayor's actions from 13 June 2022 until this very moment in any way transacting business with Chagrin Valley Fire Department were and are unauthorized and exceed his authority. In a subsequent meeting with the mayor on 25 August, I challenged the mayor on this point. He told me it didn't matter. The contract was, quote, a done deal, unquote. I pushed back, telling the mayor that council had not yet voted on the proposal. He told me it would pass council. Council didn't have any choice. I asked the mayor to reconsider and whether an offer to Chagrin Valley for a one-year deal at 8% with no clawback provision would interest them. This 1 year would give the village time to consider other options which the mayor did not have an interest in. Despite the mayor's objections, he told me he would forward that proposal to Chagrin Valley for discussion. I never heard any response to it. Further, the village fiscal officer will attest that a draft of the village newsletter for fall 2025 noted that the contract proposal for Chagrin Valley was for a 12 to 18% annual increase. The mayor refused to allow the newsletter to be distributed until the copy was changed to say 12%, statement which we all know is false, and which the fiscal officer told him was incorrect. The mayor insisted. The newsletter went to the residents stating, quote, each community will see a 12% increase in contract costs for each year for the next 3 years, unquote. This statement ignores both the compounding of annual increases as well as the clawback of EMT payments. Ignoring the additional costs of Chagrin Valley Dispatch, the cumulative increase over the next 3 years is 85%. I believe this demonstrates that the mayor had no interest in providing all the facts to the public, as in his mind, this deal was already done. At the 8 September council meeting, council instructed the mayor to attend the next Russell Township Trustees meeting on September 18th and asked for 3 things. A list of firefighting and ambulance equipment, an estimate of response times to the 2 furthest points in South Russell, Champion Lane and Daisy Lane, and C, a proposal to provide fire and EMS services to the village for the next 3 years. The mayor attended the 18 September 2025 Russell Township Trustees meeting. He did not ask for answers to any of the council's questions. When asked by the Russell trustees why he was there, the mayor replied he really didn't know. The next morning, September 19th, the mayor emailed Chagrin Valley Fire Department Chief Zugan and informed him that Russell, quote, will not be bidding on fire and EMS, unquote. The mayor went on to say, quote, I will bring my council the CVFD contract on Monday. I will ask for a vote on October 13th, unquote. The mayor went on to thank the chief for his patience. When the results of the Russell trustee meeting were reported at the 22 September South Russell Council meeting, Councilman Porter, Canton, and myself agreed to attend the next Russell Township meeting and ask for a proposal. On 24 September 2025, the mayor texted Chief Zugan advising that, quote, 3 of my council members are going to Russell on October 2nd to ask for a bid from Russell for fire and EMS. The next SRD council meeting is October 13th, 7 p.m., unquote. Chief Zugan replied the next morning, quote, since you suggested this a while back, it doesn't surprise me that they want a price, ... especially since our proposal have been given to Russell. Makes it pretty easy for them to come up with a proposal, unquote. Some might ask how Russell came into possession of Chagrin Valley's proposal. Further, how did Chief Zugan know on 25 September that Russell had the Chagrin Valley proposal when South Russell Council did not learn of it until 13 October? We now know because the mayor told us at the 13 October council meeting that he had left it with Russell during his aborted discussion with the Russell trustees on 18 September. Again, I ask, why would the mayor not ask for a proposal from Russell and then leave a copy of the Chagrin Valley agreement for their perusal? And why would Chief Zugan know the mayor had left it with Russell 2 weeks before everyone else? I think it's bad judgment on behalf of the mayor at the least, and somewhat more an unauthorized act. Council did not authorize the mayor to share the Chagrin Valley proposal with Russell. Why would he? Someone smarter than me has to explain these actions. I can't answer the question. Onward. At the Russell Township meeting on 2 October, the Russell trustees expressed interest in submitting a proposal. Councilman Porter, Canton, and I, as well as the fiscal officer of South Russell, all felt that a proposal from Russell would be forthcoming. That is, until the results of our conversation with Russell became public and prompted the scene orchestrated at the Monday night council meeting a fortnight ago. Afterwards, Russell's family-friendly response to the 3 council members was, quote, "Go jump," unquote. Who could blame them for their frustration? South Russell was left with no choices, and the approval of the Chagrin Valley contract is the result. I believe it instructive that more than one resident stood on 13 October and told this council that we had made a commitment and that we needed to honor it. The commitment to Chagrin Valley that the residents refer to is the commitment the mayor made to Chagrin Valley without authority to do so. How did the residents know of this commitment? The answer is not a particularly sophisticated exercise in connecting the dots. It's clear to me that the mayor is engaged in a process to delay, obfuscate, and deceive all of us until such time as he could marshal his forces and compel council's acceptance of the Chagrin Valley Agreement. I wish I could offer everyone a greater insight into the communication behind the scenes of this drama, but I only received the mayor's response to a public record request for emails and documents concerning this issue this afternoon. I cannot verify that I have all the documents at this time. I've discussed this issue with the solicitor. The village will be moving to secure all emails on this issue from ADP, the county's cybersecurity force and data storage facility. When I know more, I promise to share. So yes, Mr. Flays, I screwed up. I admit my failure to South Russell Village and will accept any punitive process the voters feel is justified. I breached the public trust by trusting the mayor to be an honest broker working on behalf of our village. I believe the record consistently shows in this case that the mayor has on multiple occasions exceeded his authority. I would note this is not the first time such complaints have been made by both former and current council members. These individuals can and should add their attestations to the record and present their facts to council in an ongoing investigational process. The mayor's actions demand council's serious examination. Now, I don't know if his actions rise to the level of malfeasance or misfeasance. I don't know what parts, if not all, of the oath the mayor took upon his office have been violated. I don't know if the mayor's actions rise to the level of fraud. I don't know what, if any, level of illegality his actions rise to. I have raised the issue and presented the facts as I have found them. I do know that this village council must judge the material presented and initiate such punitive process as they deem appropriate, if any. I know council's options are limited, but they should take all steps within their power to address the mayor's actions and find a way forward out of this abyss. But the gravity of this situation is well-founded and demands council's response. What I do know for me, in no uncertain terms, I cannot trust the mayor to act with the best interests of the village on any of the issues with an outside party. It's just that simple. With that understanding, I will work with council to effect any legislation they deem fit, preventing the mayor from participating in the negotiations of any contracts, regardless of value, with any third party. I will work with council to inform all organizations that the village does contract with that the mayor does not have the authority to contract on behalf of the village without the consent of council, period. I will work with council to compel the mayor to resign from membership and board positions of all organizations that represent potential conflicts of interest with the village interests. If necessary, I will work with council to appoint council members chairing various committees to liaise with these organizations to advance village interests. And I will work with council in any other way to repair the damage done to our community and regain the respect and confidence of our residents, which this institution should rightfully expect, and which I believe the responsibility for the loss of falls upon the mayor. On a personal note, I've said many times that I've known the mayor longer than anyone here. I was a student of the mayor in the 8th grade at Brady Middle School. The mayor was my football position coach in the 8th grade. I have long respected and admired a life lived with all appearances of integrity and dedication to the community at large. It is the most distasteful service I've ever done to bring light upon the misdeeds of a good man, no matter how honorable he and we might have hoped his intentions to have been. He and his family may have wished for better. I know I did. In answer to the mayor's demand of 23 October, I have presented tonight one case of multiple unauthorized actions undertaken by the mayor. I believe the case well proved and that no apology for my remarks is warranted then or now. I have been ably assisted by citizens, past and present elected officials, and village employees in compiling a lengthy list of additional transgressions which are currently being evaluated. Some may only rise to the level of poor judgment. Some might be something more. Should we want to have that discussion at some future date, I will make myself available to expound upon them. Until then, I will hold those comments in abeyance. That concludes my remarks.
Canton,
I have none.
Kavanaugh,
None.
Glicky.
None.
Motion to adjourn at
Wait, that's
8:20.
not everybody. Glicky,
None.
Twitter.
None.
That's everybody.
Motion to adjourn at 8:21.
So moved.
Moved by Porter,
Second.
seconded by Canton. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned.